HVAC horror stories.
Horror stories.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is the Profit Dig Construction Show. I'm Jeff Givens. We're here with Booker, Jonathan Booker
Yes,
from
sir. Griffin Mechanical.
Serving.
Middle Tennessee area, Dixon and surrounding counties.
All right, yeah, and doing what?
We're doing plumbing, HVAC, and commercial HVAC.
All right, and just for reference, I use them personally.
Yes, sir. We
Vouch for
appreciate
them.
that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to help your buddies out.
Yes,
too.
sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
You help me, I help you.
That's right.
Go local. As always, we've got Jeff Spencer here with us.
Hey guys.
Yeah, resident genius in the house.
Where?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you when I see him.
Okay, yeah, please do.
And then behind the camera, as usual, producer Jerry. Glad to have you with us. Chris Work, unfortunately, couldn't be with us tonight. He's got a birthday party situation to attend. So, Jonathan, since you're an expert in HVAC, I know you guys have a lot of HVAC horror stories. So I want to hear some. And it doesn't have to be horror stories,
Yeah.
but just any kind of interesting
man.
situations, either you or maybe someone you know run into.
There's horror stories in every genre, every aspect of it. Anywhere from new construction to existing to employees, customers. There's always horror in my mind with HVAC comes water coming through your ceiling. You get a drain clogged and overflows. Somebody didn't put a safety switch in to shut the unit off, and come summertime, that drain stops up and your ceiling's falling on your bed in the middle of the night.
Oh my goodness.
That's we've seen issues of that, repaired them.
What about creatures?
Creatures, yeah. I've seen under houses and attics, snakes, mice, rats, possums, skunks are a big one around here.
Skunks. Mm-hmm.
Skunks love your ductwork and they want to get in it.
Really? So they're not just under the house; they're actually.
Oh,
in the duct.
we had a customer over behind the Roxy, and she called, super sweet lady. She said there's a skunk popping its head through my register. So I was working with Daryl Gibbs at the time, one of my buddies. So we run over there and we're looking. He said, "I don't want to go under the house." So we look, and of course you can get a little smell. They didn't spray, but you could tell.
Yeah.
So
just an ambient
we said,
stench.
"How in the world is it popping its head up?" It's a package unit. So on a residential unit, there's an application. It could be a rooftop. So you can take screws out and mount it on a roof curb. Mm-hmm. Well, the screws had rusted over time, and that skunk was crawling under, popping that up, and just traveling to the
Just
dump.
hanging out.
So luckily the right
warm.
people got in and got the skunks captured.
What did you call animal control?
Yeah, she called a company to come remove them,
Okay.
and
Here's skunk.
bad. Yeah, I mean, I've been under a house where a dog got under with me and bit me, chewed me up pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, one of the customers' dogs. We were under there doing a duck inspection, and the funniest thing of all, it was a basset hound.
Oh man,
That bad boy ate us up. I mean, you can't really. I'm under a house. You can't go nowhere.
You just go to kicking, or
Oh yeah, I was kicking, screaming.
it's not like shark. You go for the eyes.
Yeah, animals are one of the, you're gonna do it, you're gonna get stung by a wasp a lot. You open a disconnect, I'm sure you've done it, they're all over you.
So for me, anytime, 'cause I have a crawl space, but it's more like a stoop space. Mine's pretty nice at the house I'm in now. But the previous house I was in, it was literally like military crawl. And man, I always just thought, like, as I'm crawling under there, something would go wrong inevitably with a pipe or something, and I'd be under there crawling, and I would think, like, man, just a snake could just loop down on you, or a
right
spider.
down on you.
Like, I remember the movie Arachnophobia?
Yeah.
Like, I was a tarantula right on my shoulder,
Yes, sir. Yeah, animals are definitely, creatures are a big part of horror stories in it, because they'll tear your unit up. They can destroy your home. You know, skunk sprays in your ductwork.
Yeah, what do? You have to replace it at that point?
We've had situations where we've had to tear out and replace the whole system. They make some chemicals and some smells, and
I bet it's
UV lights can help.
Though.
There's always a little, and yeah, you get between that and bad installs we've came in. Had a guy last week. One of our techs called, and lady had a shop house that needed a 5-ton unit, and the guy put a 2-ton. Half failed every inspection that was done. So that's a nightmare for that lady.
And was the ventilation bad as well?
Oh, everything. Yeah.
So the whole system was.
The whole system. It was horrible. It looked like my kids did it, and charged her more than I would have to done it right. So that's a horror story in itself.
Yeah.
Walking in and seeing something that somebody's paid for. Funny customers doing funny things. You know, that's.
Yeah. People are funny.
People are funny. You run into some really good people and some really bad people.
How many people like to watch you work?
Quite a few.
Because I always wonder, anytime somebody comes to my house, I try not to hover, but I always come out and introduce myself.
We like people to come look. You know, we'll show you this. Try not to touch it. You know,
like
I've had some kids walk up and try to touch things, but you know, I like for a customer to kind of be involved.
Yeah.
Look at it with you. They can see, hey, how bad a shape or how clean and how good of a job.
Like peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely don't mind the customers coming and talking, asking questions, and just looking over it.
You ever had a customer come on to you?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What it looked like.
Yeah. What was his name?
Yeah. His name was Bill. He asked me to go into the cellar more than twice. You do. You have that. We had one of our local HVAC guys, and still after this day, a lady was home and changed her unit. I went to give him a hand, and he's a studly guy, good looking, you know, ladies like him, he's married, would have never, thought about it, but this lady's probably early 60s in a string bikini and a bush ice. She comes out, she's rubbing all over him, and I said, man, you're going to change the stat, I gotta go. So yeah, you run into that, you run into really extremely mad people. They're called a lot. They're not glad that you're there. In warranty situation where
it's always your fault.
Something prematurely happens with a unit, that can be a nightmare. Learning how to de-escalate the customer and make the situation better.
Let me ask you this then, because I've worked in service before, various types of customer service, and anytime someone treated me with respect, it was much easier for me to treat them with respect.
Sure.
And I wanted to go that extra mile, like if they had concerns. Do you feel that that's true for most people you see as well? Like,
it is.
Like, bitching at me is not going to get this done any faster, any cheaper.
Right. Right. And sometimes you expect they're going to be a little upset.
Yeah.
You just have to work through that first step process and get past it and let them know you're going to fix it. But some people you'll never please. There's just, just their nature. They want it free. They want it fixed yesterday, and that's just how it is. And sometimes.
Do you carry a coffee can in with you that says tips appreciated?
No, we don't. We get them every once in a while. Sometimes we get really cool tips.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a guy gave me a box of 9mm ammo not long ago. That was pretty neat, And sometimes they'll throw you money. We've had customers we told them no, we can't accept. We had a lady one time try to give us $500. It was an elderly lady. I said, absolutely not. You can't do that. So. There's been some.
She said, well, hold on, let me go get my bikini.
Yeah. There's people, sometimes they'll give you beer. I've had a customer one time, she had a brand new Igloo cooler and 12 beers iced down in it when we got done. So that was, of course, we love that. You get a little bit of everything tip wise. And
I got another question. You're kind of getting away from experiences right quick, but I meant to ask you earlier, you talked about changing the stat out a while ago. How important is it as far as placement of your thermostat?
That's very important. You want it close to that return so the air pulling back around will register it. And I always try to go close to the return, as close as possible above. You get people, I had a builder the other day.
You ever get a builder or homeowner?
He asked me the other day, and one of my favorite builders, but he asked if we could put it in the laundry room. That's where the customer wanted it. I said, I can. I said, but we're going to have a temperature sensor somewhere else in the area. She wanted a picture and didn't want to see a thermostat. I said, well, I can put it anywhere, but we'll have to have a separate wireless sensor to really get a reading of the room.
How many times have you had customers that was trying to hide their return and put a piece of furniture or something in front of them?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot.
Yeah.
I've had to ask them, let's pull this couch out. They just don't want to see it.
Don't want to see it.
So we have
aesthetically.
They'll put a couch or put something in
and
front
they'll push
of
it right up against it.
Or they'll hang, we've run into a lot, they'll put a TV hung on the wall, and it drives the thermostat crazy. All the heat off the back of the TV raises it. And we've had a lot of that happen in construction. It's freezing in here. The unit never shuts off.
That thermostat's really warm.
So we've had some. We've even I've hidden returns in very weird places. We have some custom houses to where we've built them under beds. We've built them under nightstands. We've put them and painted them black.
What's a rule of thumb? Like 12 inches away?
About 12 inches what we like. So
that gives enough airflow.
Yeah, it gives enough airflow.
And a lot of people, there's several reasons behind it, but one of them is like for your air return, but another one is like for fire and safety. But like the bottom of your doors, they have a certain amount. It has to be a gap between those doors.
Right.
Just for those reasons. And one thing is, you can actually get vacuums shut into a room. If your door is rubbing the ground, you can't pull it.
Yeah. You look like you want to say something, Jerry. Okay. Well, cool. Any other stories you want to share?
I could go all night, man.
All right, let's keep going.
It's never ended, man. The funny ones, the sad ones, you see it all.
Sad ones, like sad because it's like unfortunate for them.
Yeah, there's some situations you go into in any service. I've been in houses where sad situations for kids, especially. That's one of the hardest parts. I've had to bite my tongue a lot of days, especially being a father. You go in and see.
Have you ever been in a situation where you thought like you had to call?
Twice. I have.
Twice.
Yeah.
Man,
We have twice, and it's hard, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I struggled with it, but we had one in particular, and it was a lot of bad stuff going on in that house with kids, and I said, man, I can't go for this. It's bad all the way around. So. I
guess I never would have considered it, but it makes sense. Any kind of service, home calls. I guess there's always a potential for that.
They were just the filth, the blatant, crazy drug use in front of in front of kids,
laying around,
needles and stuff on the table, and you're just like, man, you got a 4-year-old right here.
Oh my goodness!
So we've had a few situations like that, and there's usually more good people out there than bad. We got a lady over by the high school. She's passed on now, but I loved going to service her unit. And I scheduled it like 11:30 on purpose. She made homemade pimento cheese. And you got to pick between 3 kinds of chips, and you get 2 canned drinks. And she'd always say, "Well, you let your wife know that you're eating lunch over here. I'm not trying to hit on you." She was in her 80s, but man, she made some mean pimento cheese. We kind of picked fights over, hey, I'm gonna get this call and go get her today. Did you work?
Give her a discount?
Oh yeah.
More frequent service.
I didn't charge her for the coil cleaner. That was our arrangement. Saved her $20 and I got a lunch.
That's right. Heck yeah.
it's the good and bad. You meet a lot of people, you see a lot of things, a lot of people, and that's it was fun just being out, seeing different roads every day. You're never in the same place for long, so it's.
But
would you recommend this as a career?
I would, definitely would, and
so just in case that didn't pick up, producer Jerry asked, would you recommend this as a career?
Yes, especially right now, the trades are needing help, and I'm on the board at the heating and air school here in Dixon, so they're hiring another teacher, they're expanding the HVAC department, so young kids, it's a good trade. I mean, you can start from install and work your way to there's so many different jobs, even for ladies, call center management. There's a big career opportunity in the whole field.
I know, I mean, I'm in the engineering field. I've been trying to hire a woman engineer for 2 years now. I finally had a candidate narrowed down. Then HR called me and said, this person's going to be terminated immediately. Don't proceed with the hiring process. I said, dang it, I finally got a good candidate, and they said don't proceed.
I've always thought a female HVAC person, they're going to do a better job at being more meticulous. And there have been a few go through the school, but usually they're hired snapped up fast. There's some really good ladies in the trade.
The young ladies out there, like trade industry, I'm not saying name your price, but you're in high demand.
They definitely are.
You need to get out there.
Definitely. So
long term, I mean, any type of trade industry. We talked about this a lot on the channel. Like, it's such a good time right now.
Oh, it's a great time.
It has been for a few years, and I see it going on for several more years.
Yeah,
it's
not going to fix itself overnight.
Electricians.
There's been we've talked about this before. There's been so much focus on parents getting their kids into college, to be doctors, lawyers, whatever, anything other than working with your hands. And so now there's no one. We're growing more than ever, and there's no one to do the physical labor.
Shortage of work, and there's a lot of money to be made working with your hands and learning a skill in a trade. It wasn't always like that. I'm sure I know all y'all know. It's you're not the top paid guy, but now there's people that make a whole lot that didn't go to college, just knowing how to do a trade. So
I'm still trying to catch up with Jeff Spencer.
No
That's
more.
right.
Billionaire over there.
It's a good trade to get into, and highly recommend it. And we actually hired a young kid last week. He works with us on Thursdays and Fridays. He'll graduate in May from the heating and air side of the tech school. So
it's like 3 month program.
It's a full year program right now. So they can co-op out and see if they're gonna like it before they really jump right into it. So
get field experience.
Get some field experience while they're in school, and I think it's a huge thing. Not everybody. I can't read a book and fix something, but if you show me, I'm good to go. So,
but I think a lot of people like some people do read well. They do listen well. Other people, to reinforce that material, just rote methodology. Get in there, get your hands dirty.
Try it out.
There's something tactile about it that registers a lot more for most people.
That's why once I see something and put my hands on it, next time I have that situation, I'm going to remember. I'm going to know.
Yeah, you know how to do it and what to do.
And I'll get more by laying hands on something than I will by reading a book, because, like you said, there's a lot of people that can read a book or read instructions and do things, but for me, you never get the full grasp or the full explanation of it as you do. And every situation is different. Especially like in my field, whenever you're doing with, utilities, grade work, stuff of that nature, these buildings may be the same building, but this lot over here was flat, this lot over here has got 20 feet of fall from one side to the other. So I mean,
Changes everything.
Exact same building, but it changes everything, as far as how you put it in.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for the horror stories. We
Yeah.
deviated a little bit, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you liked this video. If you do, like the video. Hit that like button. Share it with your friends. If you got somebody you think might find this content interesting, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. And if you're looking for a job bidding and costing solution, check us out at profitdig.com. It kind of lets all this happen. We're real proud of our application.
Yes.
And Booker, thanks again, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Just
Definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, and leave us some comments, questions, let us know what you think and
Yeah.
anything you have questions on. If we can help you, we'll help you. If not, then we'll try to find out.
Yeah, if Book came to your house, would you hit on him? All right, have a good one.
See you guys.